So in today's topic, I want to talk about two things. So we already talked a little bit about wholesale, but we'll talk more about that. And also I wanted to talk about inventory management, and particularly I want to start with inventory turnover. So what is inventory turnover? And then you will find out very soon why it's very important to know what it is, in your business and how to track it. So turnover is how fast you sell your inventory. It indicates how well your inventory is performing. So turnover is usually expressed based on annual results, which means the highest score is 12 and the lowest could be 0. What that means is that if your inventory turnover score is 12, that means that you turn over your inventory every month of the year. And if it's 1, that means your inventory sell through is only it's on 12 months. So you sell this unit once a year, right? So let's say your inventory turnover is 3. That means that it will take you an average of 4 months, which is about 16 weeks, to sell out your inventory. Okay? So let's see. So for example, let's imagine you bought something in May to sell for Halloween, right? So that essentially means that you're gonna have to wait at least 4 months to start selling, to start seeing any kind of money coming back, and you won't get your money back until at least 5 months after you purchased it. Okay, so this is important to understand when you're making buying decisions, especially for when you're buying things that you expect it's going to sell in the future. It's important to understand the sell-through rate, inventory turnover of this inventory you're buying, and the reason why is because it directly affects your cash flow, and we'll talk about it a couple minutes. So in our line of business, usually we hear that most sellers are trying to buy only 30 days worth of inventory. So they plan to buy it and they plan to sell it within the next 30 days. And many tools and softwares are actually designed to show you 30-day sell rate. So like all of the Chrome extensions we talked about already, they will tell you the numbers in a 30-day, a 1 month period. They will tell you that this unit supposedly gonna sell 15 units per month, right? So let's see. So let's see, if you sell your inventory every 30 days, then what your score will be, it would be 12. So this is like ideal world for everybody. So everybody wants to buy their stuff, get it, sold in 30 days, get their money back, get their profit, reinvested. But in real world, it's not like that. Unfortunately, once you start buying more and more, you always will eventually buy things that not gonna sell through within the expected period of time. And this is when your inventory turnover rate gets lower, gets worse. So, and like I said, low inventory turnover directly affects your cash flow. So let's take as example, a seller that is making a decision how many units of, let's say, wholesale product he needs to purchase. So his distributor, his sales rep tells him, well, you can purchase 12 and it's going to cost you this much money, or you could purchase 56 and it's going to cost you a little bit less money than 12 per each unit. So, well, initially it might be like a good decision. Let's, kind of think it through. So let's say this item, according to the tools that you've been using, you estimate that this item will be selling 18 units per month, right? And you're right now making a choice whether you're gonna purchase 12 or 56. 56, you're gonna get it slightly cheaper. 12, you're gonna get it more expensive. So which ones you're gonna pick? So let's calculate what is the how long it's gonna take you to sell 56 units or 12 units, right? So if you purchase 56 units, it's gonna take you about 3 months to sell them, right? If you're gonna purchase 12 units, it's gonna take you a little bit less than a month to sell them, right? So in the first case, you're gonna be able to expect to get your money back in about maybe 2 months, and then you start making profit depending on your margins, of course, right? But in the second case, if you buy only 12 units, even though you paid more for them, you're gonna get your money back within the first month, right? So your cash flow is better. So is it cheaper to buy 56 units? Yes. So is it smarter? Maybe not so much. Maybe 12 was a better choice, right? So Amazon actually shows the inventory turnover rate in your account. You can see it in your account. And I suggest if you guys have Amazon accounts, go ahead, you haven't checked it yet, check it. It's in inventory, maybe inventory performance page. And it will show you what's your inventory turnover rate. And you're gonna see this is gonna be the number from 0 to 12. And if any of you guys have 12, I mean, let me just bow down to you. But this is kind of in Amazon's indication that they're looking at it. They don't want your stuff to not be selling either. They don't want you to be listing products that are not popular. They don't want you to be cluttering their warehouses with the products that are not popular. They want your products to be sold fast, right? So how do you improve your inventory turnover rate? So first is how you buy. So buy only what you can sell in 1 month or maybe even faster. You know, if you're replenishing inventory or buying new inventory and you think it's gonna sell in 1 month, but the history shows that you're sitting on it for 3, maybe buy less so you can improve your cash flow. You don't sit on that inventory. So change the way you buy, or review the way you buy.
And if your inventory doesn't sell, there's going to be a fee for it sitting on shelf.
You got it. Yeah, we'll get to that too in details. So second is that you need to discount your aged, Amazon called it aged inventory, and get rid of it. So if you bought something and if it was a bad buy, I mean, Amazon came on the buy box, just get rid of it so it just doesn't sit there and accepted it was your mistake.
Well, wait a minute, how do you get rid of it? It's already on the shelf.
Well, there are several things how you can get rid of inventory. The first and foremost, usually to lower the price. If you lower the price, most of the time inventory will sell. There are many other things how you can improve your listing. Maybe you don't have keywords, but most of the time, if it's discounted the price.
One of the things that we talked about last Saturday is that you can list a product for free, just pay for shipping and handling, and that'll cover at least break even on your costs.
That's a totally different model, not within the realm of Amazon.
I'm not sure exactly.
It's a lot better than having a product sitting on the shelf and you being charged a fee.
So the idea is whatever price you're gonna set, even when you wanna. Okay, so you can either discount it, and you try to break even. Maybe you try to take a little bit of a loss, and maybe you come to the point that if you sell the product, you're gonna actually lose money, including your investment. In that case, maybe it's better that you just destroy it, which Amazon has an option destroying it, which is 15 cents you pay, and they get rid of it for you, or you recall it back and try to get rid of it in other bins. But just don't hold on to if you made a bad buy, was good at one time, became bad, just get rid of it, okay? Then third is to stay on top of your reordering. So if you have product that you reorder, you gotta be consistent with how you reorder so you don't run out of stock, but you also do not buy too much in stock. So look at your actual sales numbers comparing to what the tool recommends you. And speaking of the tools, so for example, I use the tool called Forecastly. It's a tool that tracks how many sales you made for each product and recommends you how many to buy to sell within this period or that period of time. So there are other tools like Restock Pro, but for example, those are just a couple of them. So, and the fourth method is it's not so much to improve your inventory turn, but to improve your cash flow, which is affected by inventory turn, is to try to get net terms with your suppliers. So if you buy wholesale, or if you buy even, you know, private label branded products from factories, it's always possible to ask for net terms, which means you get your product but you pay later. There is net terms 15, which means 15 days, 30, 60, 90. I heard as far as 1 year. There are some people, they buy product from
What?
the factory. Yeah, for sure. They
Crazy.
big, not your wholesaler kind of thing. Although if you're Walmart and somebody wants to do business with you, I'm sure they're gonna work something out much better than, you know, you and I little people. So yeah, I heard that you can buy product and you can pay in a year. So
Crazy.
yes, it's crazy. However, you know, for regular people like you and I, if you go to wholesalers, you know, to buy your product, usually you will see terms 15, 30, 60, sometimes 90. So if you establish relationships with the wholesale suppliers, you know, first you pay them up in advance from your credit card, and then, you know, once you have a history with them, you can say, hey, I would like to establish net terms with you, and this will help you. What it does is that you get your product, you know, you sell it, and then you pay for it, kind of like a drop shipping model, however, in like smarter way, let's say. So like in ideal world, so let's say you have a credit card and you made a purchase with a credit card, and no, let's say, so you get an inventory, and then you start selling it, and then it's time for you to pay your bill to your wholesaler. You pay the bill with your credit card, which has 30, sometimes some credit cards have 60, no interest terms. Therefore, look, you had 30 days net terms with your supplier. You have another 30 with your credit card. Now you basically have 60 days to sell out your inventory before it's time for you to pay it off. Follow? This is how you can improve your cash flow.
This is compared to dropshipping. What system is
This is not a system. Well, wholesale, like when you buy product wholesale, or, you know, when you manufacture it with a factory, they give you, they want a business with you, and they want to help you.
Right.
So they sometimes, often, all the time,
But they
offer you
a
net
window,
terms.
a lead period for you to have that product sold. We have to set-
Right, exactly. Some there's also, I heard there was somebody made a deal that they pay the factory back when the product sold, as they sell. So every month they give them like money based on how many sales they made. So there is a lot of opportunities.
That sounds good. I like that.
How does Amazon pay out? Do they pay monthly?
Right,
weekly,
if you
Bi-weekly.
bi-weekly?
Right, if you're a third party seller, it's a bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, yeah.
A weekly payout.
FBA is bi-weekly?
Both.
Right, doesn't matter, yeah, which, yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
He's asking how often Amazon pays you your money
Oh,
from sales.
okay.
So they withdraw automatically all the fees that they're charging, and they give you what's the remainder, and from that remainder, some of them will go back to pay off your inventory, right? Some of them, you know, salary, expenses, and profit. So, cool. Any questions about inventory turnover? No? So yeah, make sure you guys go to your Amazon account, log in, and find that inventory turnover, ITR, and find what's yours, and look at what's yours. And sometimes it could be a little bit depressing, but it also makes you go and look at what is sitting and not selling, and what you have to do, and what decisions you have to make. Maybe it means that you need to buy in lesser quantities than you've been buying before. maybe you're gonna have to pay more money up front. But it's all about turning inventory. The whole retail thing. It's turn. Go ahead.
If you leave too much inventory at Amazon, do they charge you a fee or anything like that?
Yes, we'll talk about it. So I guess it's a good subject to kind of move.
Because I'm asking, let's say I produced 1,000 units of something.
Right.
Yeah, it would be easy for me to say, okay, I'm sending all 1,000 units to Amazon, and I'll evaluate if it, what my turnover rate is after that.
Right.
That's probably not a good idea, but it probably would be better if I feed their warehouse in smaller increments. What would be the negatives of that?
We call it feed the beast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you gotta feed the beast to get the results back. So yeah, Amazon definitely does have fees that they charge you for storing your inventory and for fulfilling your inventory. So yeah, basically the bottom line of the change is that Amazon constantly is trying to squeeze out their warehouses products that are not selling, and like trust my word that 30 days is what also they're looking for. Basically their ideal ITR is also 12, right? So they want you to be lean and tight and don't ship what maybe they're thinking junk into their warehouses, like because before it was so cheap to have inventory at warehouses, you wouldn't think twice. It would cost you more to rent a unit on Dixie Highway for storage than to pay couple percentage of cents, whatever, units. You wouldn't think twice. But they're making it harder and harder. And so speaking of that, we should move into, there's a new thing that Amazon implemented. It's called Ipi Index. Okay, so first we talked about inventory turnover. Now we're going to be talking about Ipi Index, which is Inventory Performance Index. It's a new metric that Amazon implemented like maybe 2 months ago. The way how you see it in your Amazon account, you go to Amazon account, you go to inventory, and then you're gonna click on a tab. It's called performance, okay? And performance, it has a score, and a score is vary from 0 to 1,000. So basically, as long as your score is higher than 350, you're kind of okay. However, it's all kind of Amazon kind of looking at you sort of thing. So the better your score is better. The score consists of 4 different things. So first is excess inventory percentage, which is what we just talked about, right? So if you have too much stuff that Amazon thinks this is not selling good, this is sitting on our shelves, taking up valuable space, we don't like it, so here's your excess inventory percentage, right? Next one is which is they just implemented a couple weeks ago, FBA sell-through. So next one is trended inventory percentage. This is usually the smallest if you do well with your inventory. And the fourth one is FBA in stock rate. What they did with this,
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
it's called FBA in stock rate, as in how good you stay in stock on replenishing your inventory.